Yeah, so I'm 15. I converted to Islam when I was 12. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna explain how I did that and what's going on. So when I was 12, this is so awkward. So when I was 12, before then, I was born and not really raised Christian. Like, I never really went to church or anything. I think I went a total of 5 times in my life, but I was raised to always believe in God and all that. So I did, and I always did. Although I never really had any experiences. I never felt like any of my prayers were ever answered. It just wasn't that close, but I guess I kind of identified as Christian. And then when I was 10, I decided, no, I'm gonna be Christian. I'm gonna start being heavily Christian. I'm gonna start going to church. I just felt like I needed God in my life. So I was like, great, let's start this. Yeah, I went to some churches. My mom was happy enough to take me. She's Christian. She was born and raised Christian, but she doesn't really like organized religion, so she never really, was Christian. But I didn't really connect to anything. I went to a couple of churches, but I didn't really like any of them or what they were teaching. But I still believed in God. So I was like, okay, so what am I gonna do? So I'm 10, closer to 11, and I start looking into religions. And at this point, I'm just really fed up, and I'm kind of annoyed. And I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be Christian. What the heck? And so I just jumped to Buddhism, which the more I learn is actually kind of common for converts, Buddhism then Islam. And I'm like, oh, so I'm a stereotype. Or I go to Buddhism and but Buddhists don't believe in God, but they're just open. So they're like, hey, believe whatever you want. It's fine. Just follow our steps and you're cool. So I did that. And there was a Sunday school for the young kids, and I never went to that because I just really didn't feel like it. So I read, a book about Buddha and all that, and it was a good book. It was very interesting, but I really didn't connect to it, and I was really depressed. I've been depressed and anxiety, and I've had a lot of things. I have Tourette's and Ehlers-Danlos and all that. So and I've had these problems since I was 10 and younger. So I'm always had depression. Yeah, I was really sad. I didn't feel I didn't have good family connections. I didn't really have a family. I was being really bullied at school. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have a religion. And, I came up with so you need 3 things in my life, and I don't have any of these 3 things. I need to have at least one. I can't change my family. I can't change the fact I'm being bullied, but I can I can change my relationship with God. So I'm going to really start focusing on this. So I researched everything. Judaism, Christianity, Sikhism, even Wicca, and then I came upon Islam, and I wasn't really the first video I watched, because of course this is all done on YouTube, #GenZ, but the first video I watched, I felt a connection. I felt a click, but I didn't want to. I was, nah, this isn't happening. So I just stopped. I watch a couple of videos, but I'm I don't want to be Muslim. This isn't my religion. Come on. So I stop. I wait, and they completely stop for 3 months. I refuse to watch any videos because I don't want to get dragged into this. And here I am. I got dragged into it, but after 3 months, a video randomly popped up, and I'm like, dang it, here we go again. And I'm maybe 12 at this point. And so I watch it, and I get really into it. I learn everything I can. I read every single, my middle school was awesome. They had books on every religion. Like, they had a bunch of books on religion. Oh my gosh, I can't believe, what if the school librarian would be checking out like a pile of like books on Islam, and they'd be like, okay. But yeah, so I read about all that, and after a couple months of reading and learning everything I can, I kind of bring it up in a conversation with my mom, because like we were just talking about religion, and you know, I kind of asked her, I was like, what would you do if I was Muslim? And she kind of made a joke about, oh, you have to cover your hair, and I'd be like, ha ha ha, but no, but like seriously. And she was like, oh, okay, She thought it was a phase. I mean, I'm 12, like no 12-year-old converts to Islam, right? But so yeah, she thinks it's a phase. She's like, yeah, sure, learn about it, tell me about it, let's do it. That's like, yeah. And I end up finding, wasn't exactly a masjid, it was like a temporary masjid, because my city didn't have one, and there were plans to build one. There is one now, alhamdulillah, but there wasn't then. And so there's just this like little meeting of like in somebody's house, and there's like back room in somebody's house, so we go there. My mom drives up, and then we know this is place because there's a bunch of like hijabis walking in, and like, you know, they're all walking into this place. Hi, Kat. And so my mom's like, is this the mosque? This lady is like, yeah. And they just looking at us like, what the, who are these two people? And they're just randomly showing up with no information. And you know, I showed up because I wanted to try my best to be modest to show up. So I come up, it's like somewhat short sleeve. It was actually my mom's dress, so it was like pretty oversized on me. I went down to like my knees, and then I wore like, it looked horrible, I looked like trash, but I was trying. And so, you know, I already knew a whole lot. And one of my favorite memories is like, so they're telling us a bit about like, you know, the 5 pillars of Islam and what life is like for a Muslim. And you know, then I go on to, you know, like they're trying to tell the story of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Oh, sorry, this is so making me so nervous. I don't know, I don't like talking to myself. But so, and I, you know, I finished off the story because I knew it and I loved the story, and like they were very impressed, and they were like, oh, mashallah, oh, you know the story, oh. And I'm like, yeah. My mom was like, huh? So yeah, and I kind of, that was the Sunday before Ramadan, and I count that as the day I converted, because I was basically like Muslim before that, but like I count that as the day I basically became Muslim. Like there wasn't like a huge thing for me where I was like, you know, went on ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I was like, you know, in like this big formal setting. It was just I was just Muslim, and I just said the shahada kind of on my own, but like a lot. It was like, it was a whole thing. I know, well, actually it wasn't a whole thing, it was no thing, but but yeah. So I started, I participated in that Ramadan, and I have iron problems. I'm anemic, and I have low blood sugar problems. So fasting to this day, still not really a possibility, but I try. I may feel dizzy, I may nearly pass out, but I try. I go until I pass out, but that's not like good, but I do because I'm not good, but yeah. Yeah, and I started attending the Sunday classes for young kids and learning everything I could, and yeah, you know, it was so fun like going to the Sunday classes, and I got to meet some really good friends. Oh, one of my favorite memories is I go to a Sunday class, and you know, the kids are like, why isn't she wearing hijab? We're supposed to wear hijab to Sunday class. And I'm like, I don't understand anything. And because I'm like, what? And so one of the favorite things is, because again, this is when the masjid was built. I'm a bad storyteller, excuse me. But yeah, this is after the masjid was built, so we're taking classes in the masjid. Gorgeous masjid, by the way. But like, it's right behind the person's house where the temporary masjid was. So like the girl who lives there like runs back. Yeah, and I remember it was Eid, was the first Eid, and we went, and it was this huge party kind of thing. They had, I was still vegetarian at that point, but They had so many good foods, and they had a huge bouncy house. Oh my gosh. And yeah, and and that's when I met my best friend now, Sumaya. I won't give any more personal detail out, but yeah, she came up, and I thought they were the mean girls, and then I went over to her house, and so yeah, Eid, one time and they were so nice. The community was so nice. I've heard there's a lot of problems with like Muslims being really mean to converts, but I never experienced that once. Maybe like online in some YouTube comments or on Reddit, but I mean Reddit's like Reddit, so you can't expect much from there. But yeah, no, I've never experienced, like, they gave me prayer mats, hijabs, books, so many books. Oh my. But yeah, it was so great, and it was so fun learning everything. And now I'm 15, almost 16, yeah. And yeah, so I've almost been Muslim for 4 years. On last, was it June, or yeah, I think it was June, or no, not July, June 5th. I don't even remember anymore. I have it written down somewhere. And so when I like put on hijab and all that, and so yeah, I've come really far. It's just like so poorly put together. I might have to refilm this, but yeah, it's hard a lot of times to, especially because all my friends, they're obviously born Muslims, and it's hard to like see like a lot of like, oh, that family dynamic of praying together, and you know, like reading Quran together, fasting together, and it's like, oh, I wish I could have that. But like, you know, inshallah, one day, like, if not with my parents, like, you know, at least I have it with my kids when I'm married and all that. So I just look forward, and I look forward to the future and all of that. And yeah, you know, right now I just keep trying to grow my iman and keep trying working on praying 5 times a day. I mean, took me 3 years to learn how to pray. It's because nobody teaches you this stuff. Like, there's no YouTube video. Like, there's some YouTube videos on how to pray, but they're extremely confusing. Like, there needs to be some kind of system set up. Like, I've heard some masjids have, like, convert classes, which is, like, nice, but, like, mine didn't, that's for sure. It took me 3 years to learn how to pray, but alhamdulillah, I know how to pray now. Yeah, and I've memorized okay amount of Quran, like, no more than any other teenage girl my age, Muslim girl my age, but yeah, you know, I keep learning, and I keep reading, and I keep immersing myself in the community. I've made actually a couple of Muslim, like, convert friends now. Of course, they're all older than me, but yeah, I've made a couple, and that's really nice to, like, know other converts who are, like, in my, like, they don't have family to talk about things with, like, yeah. But it's really hard to be a convert in general to any religion, especially Islam. But like, if you are, good job, number 1, and you're so strong, number 2, and number 3, keep it up. Like, geez, like, just, you're doing fantastic. Like, don't stop. Like, clearly you're a smart individual, and you clearly know what you're doing and all that jazz. But yeah, just, I'll be posting more. Subscribe if you wanna, don't if you don't wanna, because I don't know if you want to or not. You don't have to. Just like, don't even have to watch my videos if you don't like me. I think I'm gonna go now. But yeah, I'll probably be recording some more videos today. So if you see me in the same clothes, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm lazy, but I'm not that lazy. I'm just filming in one run. So yeah.